Kalen DeBoer, he gonna have to start submitting his applications and his resume on LinkedIn because he ain't long for the job at Alabama. Let's get into it. So, Kalen DeBoer, he laid an egg in Tallahassee, Florida, against the Florida State Seminoles. Shout out to Brian McFadden. I seen him down there going crazy. Of course, he is a friend of the channel he's been on. Hopefully, we get him back on soon. But Alabama, Alabama is not Alabama anymore. They've lost the sauce. It's over. Um, I'm gonna be honest, and I ain't doing my LeBron where I feel like I know everything. But this was, I said this last year when they hired him. I thought this was one of the worst hires. Not because I don't think he's a good coach. I think I think the shoes are just too big. He came from Washington. He had Michael Penix. He had Rome Odunze. And that Washington program flourished. There was a lot of guys out of that Huskies program that became NFL players that are starters, and they making their bones in the NFL now. So I thought that was a really good team, and the way they got beat up by Michigan, a physical team in that national championship game. Michael Penix was on the ground like every other play. And I said to myself then, they were just outmatched physicality. Why do I bring this up? I bring this up because we got to see him against Michigan where he had a little bit of time to prepare and they got the brakes beat off of him. So now you're going to the SEC and you have to get and jump into those shoes of Nick Saban and create. Unfortunately, you have to continue what he was doing. And all this guy did was win national championships in the 17 years he was there. And you have to go continue that legacy. And I just never thought that Kalen DeBoer was that type of guy. Runs a decent offense, nice offense. I think he's a pretty good coach, but certain situations aren't for you. And I'm going to tell you how it shows. He's 5 of 5. 5 of 5 in the last 10 games. 5 and 5. Last 10 games. He got boat raced by Michigan. He got boat raced by Oklahoma. And then he got boat raced by Vanderbilt. So not only is he 5 and 5 in the last 10, what's the trend? Big time schools beat him up. And it doesn't matter if he's in Washington or he's in Alabama. He's getting destroyed. Once big time schools come in the building, he can't do anything with them. And I thought, like I said it then. Him going from Washington, an unknown school that's, it's just not known as a blue blood school, to going to Alabama is like, Kalen DeBoer would have been better off taking an NFL job than taking an Alabama job. And I'm dead serious. It's just, the expectations are so different. And I thought, even with Alabama, when they first hired him, my thoughts was, I think Mike Vrabel had just got fired from Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. And I said someone like Mike Vrabel. Now, Mike Vrabel came out and said that he didn't want to coach college kids and there's too much movement and all those things. And that, listen, he has the right to his opinion and what he feels that, it's his life, he makes his choices. But I thought, it has to be someone that has that tough mindset that could come in and take over for someone like a Nick Saban. it had to be somebody who just embodies toughness. You know what I mean? Like a Dan Campbell, one of those type of guys. It had to be somebody from the NFL ranks to come in and be that guy to at least steady that ship of that legacy that Nick Saban has built. Because let's call a spade a spade. Nick Saban, even though the Miami tenure was kind of weird, he was starting to put that Miami team together. That's because Nick Saban is an NFL coach. People don't know he was with the Cleveland Browns organization. Him and Belichick are friends. So he has that pedigree of NFL discipline. And what you're getting to see out of the Kalen DeBoer Alabama Crimson Tide players, the discipline isn't there. They look lost. All these things you never saw with a Nick Saban team, because Nick Saban teams were NFL teams that just so happen to play college football. We see all the players that are in the NFL right now. How many of them are Alabama players? How many of them are Georgia players? That's because Nick Saban has built the coaching tree that huge that, I don't know, like, what, 15% of the starters are like Alabama players and Georgia players? LSU, he was at LSU. He had pedigree at LSU. So when you think about somebody as big as Nick Saban, and you bring in a Kalen DeBoer, oh man, it just was a bad decision from the start. And they are on the hook. Alabama, who I'm referring to, are on the hook for a lot of money with his contract. So of course, can they get out of it? Yeah, if they really wanted to, but it's going to be for a lot of money. So whoever that next guy is, they better be certain that this is who they want. And I'm going to be honest, I think they need to look at somebody like Eric Mangini, who's been out of coaching for a while, but he comes off of that Belichick tree, a disciplinarian. That's just the type of school that is, and that's the type of school that it needs a hard-nosed guy. And I think somebody like an Eric Mangini, I can't think of anybody else right now. I have to really go do some research and kind of see who's out there who may want to do it, but it has to be somebody that is tough-nosed. Kalen DeBoer just isn't that guy. And like I said, I don't think that he's a bad coach. I just think that he does not fit the Alabama tradition. And this is why you have what you have. Now, I think they got a gimme game. Well, no game's a gimme, let me say that. But I think week 2 is a little cupcake-ish. So hopefully they could bounce back. And that quarterback, what's his name? Ty Simpson? Yeah, I don't know if he's it, though. I looked at him because I didn't really get the chance to catch the full game, so I caught a lot of the highlights. I don't think he got it. At least not right now. What's the young guy? I think he was a 5-star guy. Keelan Russell. You might have to go look at kind of bringing him in. At least start to split those reps in games where you can get some packages with him in it and see what you got. Because, like I said, I'm not going to put it past FSU because FSU was so bad last year. But they were bad for a host of reasons. Just everything just fell apart for them. Now they is able to kind of bounce back. They kind of got their legs under them, and they'll probably be in the top 10 this year. So I'm not going to say, like, Alabama just got steamrolled by a cupcake, because that's not what happened. But this isn't the Alabama that we all have come to know over the last 20 years. And, I mean, just a lineage, period. My grandmother, rest in peace, was a diehard Crimson Tide fan. Lafayette, Alabama. So they've had pedigree for a long time, and right now this isn't the Crimson Tide that we all come to know, love or hate. The greatness isn't there. So they got a lot of decisions to make. We'll see if Kalen DeBoer even gets out of September, October at this point. We'll see. I bet you that alumni is knocking on Nick Saban's door right now, begging and pleading to see if he'll come back. We've seen stranger things. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. To the next video.